What is the digital divide? Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different and talk about this topic that I learned about in one of my classes that I actually found really interesting. The other day I was sitting in one of my classes when my lecturer hit next slide on his keyboard and projected on the wall were 3 words: the digital divide. This was a term that I had never even heard of, but as I learnt more about it, I became more interested in what I was hearing and really surprised that I didn't know anything about this. Like, our world is divided and I didn't even know about it. I found a professor named Everett Rogers who wrote a piece about this topic, and I find that his definition describes it really well. The digital divide is the gap that exists between individuals advantaged by the internet and those individuals relatively disadvantaged by the internet. Now you know why I was so surprised that I didn't know what it was, because I'm someone who has access to the internet and all its information. So if there's anyone that should know what it is, it's us, because we have access to the internet. I wanted to see if I was the only one who had never heard about this. I decided to ask my friends if they knew what the digital divide was. It got off track. Let's just say I'm never asking them to an interview again.
Now, I have to ask you this question for my assignment, for the video that I'm making.
Yeah, what is it, bitch?
Did you know that our world is divided?
Yes.
Really? Did you know about the
Divide
digital
we
divide?
fall, united we rise.
By the way, I'm so confused. So what are the questions?
To be serious, yeah.
I have no idea what the digital divide is.
Okay, Arun. Arun, are you there? Lucas,
Yes.
do you know what the digital divide is?
No.
Boys, everyone load up this video.
Nick, do you? God damn it! I'm trying to talk about serious problems here, guys.
Liam, what's the
Everett.
question?
Yeah, they were pretty useless. But I think we can all agree from that interview, God, I'm not even sure I could call that an interview. We can agree that there are many others who are unaware of this topic. Also, I feel like if you want to understand this topic, there's something else you must learn. It's a bit of a scary and almost never-ending question depending on which way you decide to look at it. What is the internet? Today, I'm just going to be looking at it in the physical sense. Now, unless you're one of the very few people that actually know this, I want you to ask yourself, what exactly is the internet? Like, when you're scrolling through social media on your phone, your device is busy collecting and sending data. But where does that information go? Growing up, I always thought that the internet was run on like satellites and all the information was stored in whatever the hell the cloud is. Turns out the internet is actually made up of these cables that lie at the bottom of the ocean. And that's what makes up this super information highway that is the internet. So the internet is run on this network of cables, and that is what your modem at home is connected to, and that's how you get internet on your phone or other device. So you may have wireless access, but that just means that you're connecting to the wires wirelessly. There's actually this really funny video where a shark bites one of these cables because it's attracted to the electromagnetic, I don't know. But apparently, like, when it bit, the whole of Europe lost their internet. I don't know if that's true though, so don't quote me on that. But like, still, in order to fix this, they would have to get a boat, sail out into the middle of the ocean, drag up this giant cable, find where the shark bit it, and only then they could fix it. Yeah, I got a little bit off track there. But anyways, the reason I want to talk about these cables is because they are actually a factor to consider when talking about the digital divide. In another paper I read, aptly named Understanding the Digital Divide, it writes, recent studies have included socio-economic, institutional, and physiological factors in order to gain a greater understanding of the digital divide. That's why coastal cities tend to have better internet, because they're actually closer to these cables and have better access to them. Also stated in that paper are the institutional factors, meaning people's knowledge and their education and skills. I found this guy called Jim Sevier who gave a TEDx talk on the subject. I'd recommend go giving it a watch actually, because he talks about different ways in which we can close the digital divide, and he has a better understanding of it than I ever will. The link will be in the description below. The reason I'm talking about this is because he actually gives a really good example of the digital divide and why we need to close it. Imagine a train station. In the train station, there is the platform, The passengers, the gap, and the train. The platform is where you don't have access to things like the internet and digital technology. The gap is the digital divide. And the train that is coming is the train to take you to the digital world full of information and knowledge. And waiting for this train are two types of people. Those with the skills and economic ability to use technology. For them, it is a simple step over that gap and onto the train. The other type of passenger, however, are people who do not have the same opportunities as the first group. For them, the gap is too big to just step over, and they will never be able to get on the train, so they are left at the station. So yeah, that's what the digital divide is. It is the gap that is between the platform and the train. And we need to close it, because if we do not help those passengers get on the train, they will be left behind and they cannot leave. And because of that, our world as a whole is affected. They need our help so that they may get onto the train with us. And together, we can all go to the new world.